As we close out 2025, this week's data offers a telling snapshot of the housing market. I'm Danielle Hale, Chief Economist at Realtor.com. From rent affordability to mortgage rates and housing supply, here's what's changing and what it signals for you and the year ahead. We know rents are a challenge for many, and this month's rent report showed just how much for some. A pair of minimum wage workers would find it affordable to rent a typical unit working a 40-hour week in just 5 of the 50 largest metro areas. This is even as we saw more softening in the median rent price for a 28th straight month. The good news, as state and local minimum wages reset in some markets with the new calendar year, we expect 2 more areas, Jacksonville, Florida, and Detroit, Michigan, to join this list. Turning to broader macro trends, with the federal statistical apparatus back up and running, we got updates on both the labor market and inflation. We saw the unemployment rate tick up in November as the private sector continued to add jobs and the federal government continued to shrink its workforce. Earnings rose 3.5%, down modestly from recent trends. Meanwhile, inflation readings improved. Core inflation specifically registered its lowest pace since March 2021. These indicators are key measures of overall economic health and guideposts the Fed will use to evaluate the stance of its monetary policy. While inflation remains above target, the direction of travel for both inflation and the labor market bolsters the case of those calling for more cuts. But others will argue that it takes time to see the effects of monetary policy on the economy, and the recent spate of reductions that moved the rate down through December could be sufficient. Market odds still favor this latter interpretation, suggesting that the Fed is likely to hold off on additional cuts in early 2026, keeping mortgage rates relatively steady in anticipation. Even before this data, mortgage rates were essentially unchanged, dropping just 1 basis point this week. This steadiness has made it easier for homebuyers to budget, and fortunately for those setting home buying as a New Year's resolution, the Realtor.com housing forecast anticipates mortgage rates to continue roughly as they are through 2026, making planning a bit easier. Weekly trends in housing data have been very similar to prior weeks. One noteworthy departure is a trend for newly listed homes, which was nearly flat in the week, an improvement over recent larger declines that will increase options for buyers. Existing home sales in November rose in the month despite falling short of the year-ago pace, as lower mortgage rates and more modest home price growth help buyer incomes stretch further. Looking at the types of homes on the market, we see that buyers often prefer move-in ready homes and flipped homes. Older homes that have been purchased to renovate and resell often fit this bill. However, with financing costs still quite high, the luster of flipped homes has faded. Their views advantage has waned compared to 2021, and flipped homes sold for larger discounts relative to asking than other older homes. If you're shopping for flipped homes, you may be able to negotiate. And if you're selling a flipped home, be sure to calibrate your pricing carefully. You've heard me speak often this year about the supply challenge facing the housing market and the opportunity areas where we're building more homes as part of the Realtor.com Let America Build campaign. I recently joined the National Housing Supply Summit 2025 Year in Review webinar with several other housing experts to highlight the progress and challenges that remain. And for those of you dreaming of ski season and luxurious mountain estates, our Luxury Spotlight features trends in Heber, Utah, an outdoor paradise where the luxury tier starts at roughly 6 times the national luxury price point. It's fun to dream. You can find all the details, including full reports and our housing data for download, at Realtor.com/research. You can also follow us on X, formerly Twitter, for real-time updates, and Instagram for graphics. Finally, this is our last weekly episode of 2025. I wish you the best this holiday season, and I look forward to showcasing the latest real estate data and trends to help you navigate the housing market in 2026.